In today's world, we are constantly bombarded by distractions. Our minds are pulled in 1,000 different directions, fighting to stay afloat in an ocean of noise. It starts the moment we open our eyes: social media notifications, work emails, personal obligations, and even our own swirling thoughts, each demanding our attention. And before we know it, the day slips away in a haze of endless scrolling, comparing, and mental clutter. We start the day with the best intentions, ready to focus, ready to be productive, but somehow, the distractions always win. I know this feeling all too well. We all do. We've all been there, feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, and like we're running in circles without ever reaching the finish line. It's a vicious cycle of good intentions and missed opportunities, and the constant pressure to keep up leaves us feeling unfulfilled. It's easy to think we're just not capable of managing it all, that we're somehow destined to be prisoners of our own minds. But here's the truth: you do have control. You are not powerless in this battle against the noise. There's a secret, a wisdom that's been passed down through the ages. A teaching that can help you break free from the distractions and take control of your mind. This wisdom comes from the heart of Buddhism, ancient teachings that have stood the test of time and continue to guide those seeking peace and focus. The techniques and insights that Buddhist masters have shared over thousands of years are more relevant today than ever before. They offer us practical tools to reclaim our attention, overcome procrastination, and cultivate an unshakable sense of purpose. In this video, we're going to uncover 6 powerful Buddhist lessons that can help you master your focus every single day. These are not just nice sayings or abstract philosophies, they are real, actionable tools for transformation. By applying these lessons, you'll learn to break free from the mental clutter, restore your clarity, and build a life filled with intention. If you're tired of being pulled in every direction by external distractions and internal doubts, and if you're ready to reclaim your mind, then stick around. Your future self is watching. Will you make the change and begin this journey toward mastering focus? The time is now. Lesson 1. The Potter's Wheel of Karma, Shaping Your Own Reality. Imagine life as a potter's wheel. At first, the clay is shapeless, full of potential, yet it remains formless. It is up to you, the potter, to shape it, to mold it into something meaningful and purposeful. Your hands, the potter's hands, represent your choices, your actions, and your responses, and much like a skilled artisan works with clay, you have the power to shape your life with every decision you make. In Buddhism, karma is often misunderstood as some mystical force or divine punishment, but in its essence, karma is not about judgment, it is simply the result of intentional action. It's the idea that our thoughts, words, and deeds ripple out into the world and come back to us in some form. What you put into the world, you will receive. This is not some abstract concept, but a practical principle that shapes the reality we experience. The Buddha taught that, you are the heir to your actions. This profound statement highlights a universal truth: the consequences of your actions, whether positive or negative, will inevitably come back to you. Karma is not something that happens to you, it is something you create with every decision you make. Every thought, every word, every choice you make shapes your future, whether you are aware of it or not. Personal story. Let me share a story with you about a friend of mine who was once stuck in a cycle of frustration and blame. For years, he believed that life was against him. He blamed his job for his unhappiness. He blamed his family for not supporting him. And he blamed society for not giving him the opportunities he felt he deserved. He felt powerless, stuck in a place where no matter what he did, things never seemed to improve. One day, during a moment of quiet reflection, he had a conversation with a Buddhist monk who told him something simple yet powerful: you are the heir to your actions. This statement shook him to the core. For the first time, he realized that his life, with all its struggles, was the result of his own actions, his choices, his responses, and his decisions had led him to where he was. It wasn't that life was against him, rather, He was the one shaping his own reality, whether he realized it or not. With this new understanding, he stopped blaming the world and started taking responsibility for his own actions. He began making intentional choices to improve his career. He worked harder, developed new skills, and focused on creating opportunities for himself. He nurtured his relationships, realizing that the quality of his connections was a direct result of the energy he put into them. Most importantly, he took responsibility for his health, making decisions to prioritize his well-being. Slowly, his life began to change. His career flourished, his relationships became deeper and more meaningful, and his overall sense of peace and fulfillment grew. The lesson here is powerful and liberating. You hold the power to shape your life. Every action you take today will become the clay of your tomorrow. The key is to realize that you are not a passive observer in your life. You are the creator, the sculptor of your destiny. The moment you take full responsibility for your choices, you reclaim control over your future. So, let me ask you this: what kind of life are you shaping today? Are you allowing external circumstances to dictate the course of your life? Or are you actively molding it with your choices? It may be difficult at times, but every step you take in owning your actions, every mindful decision you make, moves you closer to the life you truly want. The potter's wheel keeps spinning, and you are the one who decides the shape of your life. Start today. Make a conscious choice to shape your reality, to mold your future with intention. The power has always been in your hands. Lesson 2: The Bridge of Right Intention, Building Your Path with Purpose. Imagine life as a bridge, stretching across turbulent waters. On one side of the bridge lies uncertainty, regret, and stagnation, while on the other side lies clarity, purpose, and fulfillment. The waters beneath represent the chaos of our unexamined lives, the distractions, the confusion, the fear of the unknown. The bridge, though, represents the path forward, a path of intentional action that leads us from confusion to clarity. The key to crossing this bridge is intention. In Buddhism, right intention is one of the core principles of the Eightfold Path, which is the path to liberation from suffering. Right intention is about knowing where you want to go and being determined to get there. It's not just a wish or a fleeting desire, it's a deep, clear commitment to a specific goal. Most people stand at the edge of this bridge, unsure of which direction to take, hesitant to cross the waters of uncertainty. They wait for clarity to appear. But here's the truth: direction doesn't appear on its own, it's something you must create. The Buddha taught that clarity of intention is the antidote to suffering. When you have a clear goal, your energy no longer scatters. You stop chasing distractions, comparing yourself to others, or wondering why life feels directionless. Instead, you act with purpose. Each step you take moves you closer to your goal, and slowly, the path becomes clearer. The waters of doubt and fear subside as your intention pulls you forward. Personal story: I remember a time when I struggled with the concept of success. I would tell myself, I want to be successful, but the problem was that I had no concrete idea of what success actually meant. Success, for me, was this vague notion of something better, without a clear vision. It wasn't until I took a step back and defined success for myself that things began to change. For me, success became not just financial freedom, but peace of mind and the ability to make a meaningful impact in my community. When I defined it, I could build a clear path toward achieving it. The moment I realized this, every goal I set became a plank on the bridge of my intention. Each small action, each focused step, became part of the structure that led me from the shore of uncertainty to the land of fulfillment. I started seeing everything I did in terms of how it would move me closer to the life I wanted to live. The more specific and intentional I became about my goals, the clearer my path became. My vision of success transformed from a vague hope into a practical, actionable blueprint. Instead of waking up each day unsure of what to do, I knew exactly what my next step was, and every action felt meaningful. So, ask yourself, What do you want to achieve? Do you know exactly what success, fulfillment, and peace mean to you? Or are your goals simply vague wishes? The first step toward crossing your own bridge is to define your destination. What do you want to create in your life? Once you have a clear intention, the path before you will become much clearer, and every action you take will bring you closer to that goal. Just like a bridge, your path to fulfillment is built one plank at a time, and each plank is laid down through intentional action, specific, focused, and purposeful. So, take a moment to reflect. What is your direction? What is the path you're building for yourself? The journey might not always be easy, but with clear intention, the waters of doubt and distraction will no longer pull you under. The bridge will carry you, step by step, to where you want to be. Lesson 3: The Forge of Self-Mastery, Refining Your Mind Like a Blacksmith. In the pursuit of focus and mastery, you must treat your mind like a blacksmith treats metal, using fire to shape it into something strong, resilient, and unbreakable. Imagine your mind as raw iron, full of potential but formless and easily bent. Just like a blacksmith who molds the metal, you must forge your mind with discipline and effort. Without fire, iron remains weak, unable to hold its shape. Similarly, without discipline, your mind remains fragile, constantly swaying between distractions and doubts. Buddhist monks dedicate their entire lives to mastering the mind because they understand something profound: growth is not optional. The practice of mental discipline is the foundation for living a peaceful, purposeful life. If you resist change, avoid challenges, or allow yourself to stay stuck in old habits and patterns, you will continue to experience dissatisfaction. This dissatisfaction, which Buddhists refer to as dukkha, is the natural result of resisting the inevitable changes of life. It's the discomfort that arises when we resist the flow of life or remain stuck in cycles that don't serve us. Just as metal requires heat to be shaped into something strong, your mind requires effort, practice, and the heat of discipline to become strong and unbreakable. Self-mastery is the art of refining your mind, day by day, until it can withstand distractions, doubts, and the unpredictable nature of life. Personal story: I can remember a time in my life when I struggled with self-discipline. I would tell myself that I would focus on my work or my studies. But then I would get distracted by social media or other trivial distractions. It felt like I was stuck in a constant loop, where my mind was being pulled in a million different directions. I realized something important: my mind, just like an unshaped piece of metal, needed to be forged. It wasn't enough to just wish for more focus. I needed to put in the effort to strengthen my mind. So, I began with something small, just 10 minutes of meditation each morning. It wasn't much, but it was a commitment. And over time, that practice became a part of my daily routine. As I stuck with it, I began to notice a remarkable change in my ability to focus. My mind was less scattered, more disciplined, and I was able to accomplish more with greater clarity and intention. This small daily effort acted like the heat in the forge, gradually refining my mind, making it sharper and more resilient. The process of self-mastery doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent, dedicated effort. Every day, you must put in the work to strengthen your mind. You have to be willing to step into the fire, to endure the discomfort of change, and to be patient with yourself as you grow. Buddhism teaches us that without discipline, our minds are like iron left out in the cold, vulnerable to bending and breaking under the pressure of external distractions and internal doubts. But with discipline, our minds become like forged steel, unshakable and purposeful. So, I ask you, will you step into the forge? Will you commit to refining your mind with discipline and dedication? The fire is waiting, ready to transform you into someone who has mastered the distractions of life. The question is, are you ready to step into it and forge the mind that will carry you through life's challenges? Every small effort you make today, whether it's taking time to meditate, cutting down on distractions, or focusing on a task with full attention, builds the foundation for self-mastery. Just like a blacksmith shapes metal, you can shape your mind into something powerful. Will you take the first step? The forge is waiting. Lesson 4. The Archer's Discipline, the Power of Small, Consistent Actions. Imagine an archer preparing to shoot. The archer does not hit the target by accident. They don't simply grab their bow and shoot without any thought or focus. Instead, they stand firm, align their stance, steady their breath, and with precision, release the arrow. Each movement is deliberate, each action is intentional. Discipline is the stance, focus is the arrow, and your goal is the target. Without discipline in your stance, you will miss the target, no matter how skilled you are. Without focus in your aim, your efforts will scatter, and you will never hit your mark. In Buddhism, the principle of small, consistent actions is emphasized because it is through these small efforts that we build mastery and progress. Too often, we think that great results come from grand gestures or dramatic changes. We believe that success comes only from huge leaps forward, but in reality, it's the small, consistent actions that compound over time and lead to significant results. It's easy to become impatient and expect immediate results, but true success and mastery are built one small step at a time. Personal story: in my own life, I have learned this lesson the hard way. For years, I was obsessed with grand plans. I would set massive goals for myself, things I wanted to achieve in a short amount of time, only to watch them fizzle out. I was waiting for the perfect moment, or the perfect energy, to take action. But the reality is, that perfect moment never comes, and my grand plans never materialized. Then, I decided to take a different approach. Instead of waiting for the motivation to make huge changes, I focused on small habits that would compound over time. For example, I started by reading just one page of a book each day. At first, it felt insignificant, but I stuck with it. I also began meditating for just 5 minutes each morning. It wasn't a huge commitment, but it was consistent. Those small, seemingly insignificant actions added up. Over time, my ability to focus improved. I became more disciplined in my approach to life, and my habits grew stronger. As I continued with these small, daily actions, I realized something powerful. Success isn't about grand plans, it's about the tiny steps you take every single day. The key to mastering anything is consistency. When you make small, positive actions a regular part of your routine, those actions build momentum, and over time, they compound into big results. The most successful people in the world didn't get to where they are by waiting for inspiration to strike or hoping for a sudden burst of motivation. They achieved success by doing small things every day with discipline and focus. Whether it's writing a paragraph, exercising for 10 minutes, or making a single call, the power of small, consistent actions can change your life. Ask yourself, what small habit can you start today that will transform your future? It doesn't need to be something monumental. It could be as simple as writing down 3 things you're grateful for every morning or taking 5 minutes to plan your day. The point is to start small and stay consistent. Don't wait for motivation to come to you, because motivation often follows action. Build your discipline and focus, and take one small step each day. This is the key to achieving anything. You don't need to make huge changes all at once. Just like an archer, you don't need to aim for perfection on the first try. But by standing firm, aligning your stance, and making consistent, focused efforts, you will hit your target, one small action at a time. So, today, make the decision to start small. Build your foundation with consistency. As you do, you'll notice that these small actions will transform your life, leading you closer to your goals and helping you master the art of focus and discipline. The power of small, consistent actions is in your hands. Are you ready to take that first step? Lesson 5. The Riverbank of Equanimity, Mastering Your Responses. Life is like a river. Sometimes it flows calmly, effortlessly carrying you forward. Other times, The waters become turbulent, swirling with challenges, frustrations, and unexpected twists. Most people spend their lives fighting against the current, trying to control everything around them, whether it's their circumstances, other people's actions, or the events that seem to constantly derail their plans. They try to steer the river, but no matter how hard they fight, the current remains unpredictable. But here's the truth: true peace doesn't come from controlling the river, it comes from becoming the riverbank. The riverbank is steady, grounded, and unshaken by the storm. While the river may be turbulent, the bank remains calm, providing a sense of stability amidst chaos. When you stop fighting against the flow of life and learn to stand firm in your own peace, you can navigate the most challenging situations with grace and clarity. Buddhism teaches us the principle of equanimity, the ability to remain balanced and peaceful in the face of chaos. It's not about controlling the world around you. It's about controlling your response to it. External events are beyond your control. You cannot control how others treat you, nor can you predict what life will throw your way. But you can control how you respond. And in that response, you reclaim your inner peace. Personal story: I remember a time in my life when small frustrations seemed to throw me off course. If I got stuck in traffic, I'd become irritable, my day ruined by the delays. If someone was rude or dismissive, it would linger in my mind, affecting my mood for hours. I was constantly reacting to the world around me, allowing each external event to determine my emotional state. But then, I encountered the concept of equanimity. I realized that my reactions to external circumstances were draining my energy and peace. It wasn't the events themselves that were causing me distress, it was my response to them. Once I understood that, I made a conscious decision to stop reacting impulsively. Instead of letting frustration consume me, I began to pause and breathe, taking a moment to regain my composure before responding. Slowly, I started to notice a shift. Instead of feeling controlled by the world around me, I found myself in control of how I responded to it. This change brought a profound sense of inner peace that I had never experienced before. Ask yourself, what situations in your life are you fighting against? Are you letting small frustrations or external challenges throw you off course? Instead of resisting or reacting to the current, try standing firm in your inner peace. When you accept that you can't control everything around you, you free yourself from the constant struggle. By mastering your responses, you begin to reclaim your energy and your peace. Remember, life is the river, and you are the riverbank. The next time you feel overwhelmed by life's unpredictable currents, pause and ask yourself, how can I respond with equanimity? By practicing this, you'll find that even in the most challenging times, you can remain steady, grounded, and unshaken, just like the riverbank that endures through every storm. Lesson 6: The Phoenix of Right View, Transforming Adversity into Wisdom. Life is full of challenges. You will face setbacks, experience failure, endure loss, and feel heartache. It's a natural part of the human experience. But what if these challenges aren't punishments or signs of your inadequacy, but rather preparations for something greater? What if every struggle you encounter is a stepping stone toward your growth and wisdom? In Buddhism, the concept of right view allows us to transform our perception of suffering. The Buddha taught that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Pain, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental, is a part of life. But suffering arises when we resist or run away from that pain. We get stuck in negative thoughts, self-pity, or a victim mentality, and that's where the suffering lies. But if we embrace our pain, we can transform it, we can learn from it. Pain can be our teacher. Buddhism invites us to reframe suffering and see it not as something to avoid, but as an opportunity for transformation. Just like the mythical phoenix that rises from its own ashes, we too have the potential to rise stronger, wiser, and more resilient after facing hardship. The fire of adversity can burn away the parts of us that no longer serve us, leaving behind a more refined, powerful version of ourselves. Personal story: I faced many challenges in my life, failed projects, personal losses, and missed opportunities. There was a time when I struggled to understand why these setbacks kept happening. I felt defeated and unsure of my path. But one day, I reflected on a difficult failure, a project that I had invested a lot of time and energy into, only for it to fall apart at the last minute. At first, I was consumed by frustration and disappointment. But then, I asked myself a simple yet profound question: what can I learn from this? Instead of dwelling on the negative, I shifted my perspective. I stopped seeing the failure as a roadblock and began to see it as an opportunity to grow. I learned the importance of resilience, of trying again after falling. I gained clarity on what I needed to improve, what strategies I could refine, and how I could better manage my emotions in the face of adversity. That failure, in fact, became one of my greatest teachers. Through this experience, I realized that every hardship carries within it a lesson. Each challenge, no matter how painful, is a chance to become wiser, stronger, and more in tune with who we are. Ask yourself, how can you reframe your struggles? When faced with pain or adversity, can you shift your perspective and ask, what wisdom can I extract from this? Instead of seeing pain as something to avoid, can you view it as an opportunity for growth? The phoenix doesn't fear the fire, it rises from it. The next time life challenges you, remember that the adversity you face is not there to break you, but to make you stronger. Embrace it, learn from it, and let it transform you. Just like the phoenix, you have the power to rise again, wiser and more powerful than before. These 6 Buddhist lessons are not mere concepts, they are powerful tools designed to transform your life. Each lesson offers a unique path toward mastering your mind, overcoming distractions, and cultivating a life filled with purpose, clarity, and peace. By understanding and applying the principles of karma, right intention, self-mastery, discipline, equanimity, and right view, you can break free from the chaos that often clouds your thoughts and begin to focus on what truly matters. Each of these teachings offers a key to unlocking your potential. Karma reminds you that you have the power to shape your reality with every thought, word, and action. Right intention gives you the direction to move forward with purpose, eliminating hesitation and self-doubt. Self-mastery and discipline teach you to refine your mind, sharpening it like a blade, while equanimity encourages you to maintain balance and peace regardless of life's storms. And right view empowers you to reframe adversity, turning every challenge into an opportunity for growth. Remember, the power to shape your life lies in your hands. No one else can create your future for you, and no external circumstances can define your path unless you allow him to. You have the ability to take control of your mind, to focus it, and to direct it toward achieving your most meaningful goals. But the question remains, will you take the first step? It may not always be easy, and there will undoubtedly be challenges along the way. But with each small action, each day of discipline, and each moment of intentional living, you will move closer to the life you desire. So, start today. Take one small step toward applying these timeless Buddhist teachings into your daily routine. The journey toward a more focused, peaceful, and purposeful life begins with you. Will you begin it now?